Hello everybody, the Owls are coming off a big upset over the number 18th ranked team in the country in the Memphis Tigers and look to continue their undefeated home record against the Tulane Green Wave. Welcome into the Leacorp Center. My name is Jay Colesauer alongside Troy Arslan, and the Owls are coming off their biggest win of the season, which ended in the court being stormed by their fan base. Looking to stay undefeated at home today against Tulane. Troy, what do you want to see Temple build off of after that win against Memphis?
So Temple last game had a really great performance rebounding the ball. They previously had not been doing a great job. It's been one of the worst qualities about this team is their rebounding. However, they had a very big margin against Memphis in the rebounding category. So in order to beat this team today, I think that they need to continue their rebounding. Tulane's got not a crazy tall team, but they got some height to them, so it's going to be important for Shane Dezzoni to get out there and continue his aggressive play style to get those rebounds. For the defensive side, Quante Berry had an amazing game last week on the defense, I thought, and so they're going to need that energy from him again this week as well.
Absolutely. I mean, looking at that last game before we really dive into this one against Tulane, I mean, Temple's bench outscored Memphis's bench 13-4 in the first half alone, and then going into the second half, 15-20. I mean, the entire game they outscored their Memphis's bench, and that is a big part to Shane Dezzoni, who came off the bench and once again is going to be coming off the bench today because Aiden Tobiasen is once again named the starter for this Owls team. What do you like about this sort of 1-2 punch of Tobiasen starting and then Dezzoni coming off the bench and playing more minutes than Tobiasen total in the game usually?
To me, it's the fact that they can keep things fresh. They keep a new look for the opposing defense, so I think that gives Temple an advantage. Also, Shane Dezzoni's energy coming off the bench is really something special. Once the players have been out there for a little while, Dezzoni will come in, he's fresh, so he'll just go out there and ball.
Absolutely, and looking at Temple's starting lineup today as opening tip-off is a little under 2 minutes away. Quante Berry had a great game against Memphis last week. He was named the MVP of the game. Him and Dezzoni were really the two guys that stood out and took over this Temple team against the 18th ranked team in the country. Jamal Mashburn, of course, he's been the point guard, the #1 scorer for this team all year long, scoring a little over 20 points a game, which is just huge when you have that #1 guy to trust and take shots for your team. Like we said, Aiden Tobiasen starting mainly in there for that defense, but one of the two freshmen starting on this team, the other one is Babatunde Duradola, who got into a little bit of foul trouble last game, but he still plays significant minutes for this team. And then Steve Settle, of course, the senior, the very tall forward for this team that has been here for quite some time. And, I mean, scouting over, looking at Tulane, what do you expect from Tulane in this game, Troy?
So Tulane, I think it's going to be a lot of down by the basket, trying to push the paint and trying to take advantage of Temple not having the biggest lineup. So I think that Babatunde Duradola is going to need to have a big game defensively in order to stop Tulane. They've got a pretty good shooter in Rowan Brumbaugh, who the Temple is going to have to look out for. Not just looking in the paint, they're going to have to look out to the corner, out by the three for Brumbaugh as well.
Absolutely. I mean, Brumbaugh, 99 three-pointers total on the season. It leads this Tulane team. He is shooting 34% from three, so not the most efficient shooter when he's out there, but he definitely gets those shots up, and he does make it when it counts. Another player to really scout and look towards this team, which it's going to be an interesting decision what Coach Fisher, who he puts on this guy, Caleb Banks, the leading scorer and rebounder for this Tulane team, 18.5 points per game, over 7 rebounds a game. Who do you expect to be on Banks this game? Is it going to be Duradola? Is it going to be Settle? Who do you want to see out there to start the game?
I think it's going to be a mix of Settle with Duradola, kind of Settle up towards the top of the key, and then a little bit of a switch off when he starts pressing down towards the basket. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a two-man game there. They're going to need to do a lot to be able to keep him in check. He's a big guy, 6'8", ability to do a lot of things on the court.
Absolutely, and one more big storyline coming into this game. Last game against Memphis, Temple played really good defense, and the offense kind of followed after that, making many stops against Memphis. But today, Tulane coming into this game is currently top 3 in the AAC defensively. Points against, only 67 points against so far this season. And that's their focus, is a defensive team. Of course, Temple also a defensive team, but do you think that the offense is really gonna have to step up against 2 defensive-minded schools?
Absolutely, it's gonna be fun to see. Good offense always beats really good defense, in my opinion. So if Temple can go out there and if Mashburn can facilitate a really clean offense, that's something that killed Temple a little bit throughout the game against Memphis. It could have been a bigger margin if the offense wasn't sloppy to start. So if they can have their offense, and Mashburn, I think, needs to swing the rock a little bit more. He was getting trapped a little bit last game against a good defense. So coming out against another one, I think we're going to have to see a good amount of passing.
I think last week really showed how good and how much depth this Temple team really has, because that, like you said, the #1 scoring option for this Temple team is Jamal Mashburn. But Memphis was locking him down, even though he did end up scoring, I believe, over 20 points last game, or at least very close to it. He wasn't getting that many shots up, especially in the first half. So that's when Dezzoni and Quante Berry both really stepped up in their own roles. Of course, Dezzoni getting a double-double last game. And I think it just shows how deep this Temple team is built to go up against a really tough opponent and just, I want to say completely destroy them defensively, but like Memphis looks sloppy on offense.
Yeah, they've got the ability to be a complementary team, and they also have the ability for Mashburn to just take control of the offense, do what he wants to do, drive the hoop, and so it's a really good thing to know that you've got that in your back pocket, that everyone can play together really, really well, and not just have that single style offense where Mashburn is kind of controlling and dribbling around, trying to find his shot.
Absolutely. I mean, another big guy that helped contributed to the last game, but mainly throughout the season, Zion Stanford coming off the bench. He's averaging over 10 points a game, and that's just off the bench alone. I mean, he's only getting 23 minutes a game, so he's not, I mean, he started in the beginning of the year and then kind of got pushed back to the bench towards the middle of the season, and now he is a full-time bench player. But one of those guys, again, like a Dezzoni, where he comes in and he could just play the rest of the game. So it's very nice to have those type of guys coming off the bench to match up against other teams' benches, where maybe the other team doesn't even want to bring their bench in because they're still playing starting caliber players.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see how specifically Zion Stanford can elevate his game throughout this season with getting more and more reps, more and more playing time, and I think it's just only going to help the team.
Absolutely. Looking at Tulane now before both teams make their way to the court for the opening tip-off, we're going to take a look at their starters. Starting at guard, the freshman Cam Williams, sophomore Rowan Brumball. Make sure you watch out for the three-point, like Troy said. Asher Woods, the guard, number 22. The junior forward, Caleb Banks, their #1 scoring option from this team. And then the junior Greg Glenn III. Repping number 2. Both teams are being announced currently. Temple making their way to the court as we get ready for opening tip-off. And I mean, the Owls, undefeated at home this season. Troy, how much did this crowd help against Memphis, you think?
I think they did so much. That was a truly packed stadium, and it was really, really impressive to see. Adam Fisher gave a shout out to the marketing team for Temple, getting all those people in there, all those fans, and it was amazing to see. They did a lot for that Temple team. They energized them, kept them going when they were going through some rough spots, but a little lower crowd today. Temple fans are a little bit more tired. There is a bird in attendance, however. Go Birds. We've got a little finch sitting in one of the seats around midcourt.
I saw that go by. That's interesting. I wonder if that's a tactic. There he goes. Across the court. That might be our Stella for the game, like the football team usually does.
I think so. We'll keep a watch.
Absolutely. As Temple makes their way to the court, opening tip-off is about to be underway. Another quick note before this game starts. Elijah Gray came out of the game last time with an injury. Not sure if he's 100% ready to go. We didn't see him in warm-ups today.
Looks like to me he's wearing street clothes down at the bench, so I don't think any Elijah Gray today.
So it looks like Elijah Gray might not be ready to go. We'll wait for definitely a guaranteed answer for that. But he is not looking like he's in basketball attire as Tim Settle is at the Temple logo in the middle of the court against Caleb Banks. And tip-off is underway. Tim Settle ends up tipping it, but Memphis is taking it away. Excuse me, Tulane is taking it away. Still got that Memphis game on my mind as Tulane now top of the key, shoots the three, is good. A quick three from number 3, Cam Williams, the freshman guard.
And that was just a nice find, nice easy setup, and just a perfect three right at the top of the key.
Quante Berry now at the wing for Temple, passing it over to Tim Settle. Settle back to Berry. Berry and Settle playing back and forth. Mashburn at the corner on the wing now. A little bit of double teaming shading over there. Wide open in the corner, did not take the shot as Berry going for 2, gets rejected at the rim. And that is a shot clock violation for Temple here as they took their time trying to get to the basket.
Yeah, couldn't quite swing the ball quick enough to get that shot open for Berry. Would have loved to see that, but he rushes the lane, is not able to come down with the basket.
Tulane now on the other side of the court already. Down low to Banks. Banks getting double team, falls to the floor, and a travel for Banks. It's going to be a turnover for Temple, and that is what you want to see from this team, forcing turnovers like that, forcing travels. I mean, Banks fell to the ground and lost his footing there.
Absolutely. That's how Temple got started last week, so if they can keep this going, this is the perfect recipe for a Temple win.
Temple is definitely a team that might start out looking a little bit sloppy with both sides of play, but they get better and better as the game goes on usually. Tobiasen now at the top of the key. Passing over to Settle. Settle over to Berry. Berry to Mashburn in the corner. Mashburn working on his defender, takes the mid-range jumper, is no good. Duradola with the rebound and putback, misses, and it's going to be a rebound for Tulane.
Nice shot from Mashburn. Would love to see that go, but good rebounding from Duradola on the offensive end.
A nice floater from Tulane is going to push this lead to 5. That was number 2, Glenn. Glenn hailing a junior from Florida. Pompano Beach, Florida. As there's a fight for the ball, and it gets poked away from, it looks like, Tobiasen on the ground, and Tulane causes a turnover now for Temple.
Yeah, that was some really scrappy defense from Rowan Brumbaugh. He was able to get in there, kind of shake up Tobiasen, and it led to the ball going out of bounds, and it's Tulane's ball now. And
now Dezzoni checks in instantly for Tobiasen, like we said earlier, where Coach Fisher isn't afraid to bring him out almost immediately, especially since Tobiasen's still learning and how to play offense here at a college level with him just being a freshman. Baseline jumper is no good from Tulane. A rebound from Duradola, and now Mashburn's on a bit of a 2-on-3 situation. Slows it down a little bit, waiting for his offense to come back. Settle kind of just gives it away, assuming Berry would be at the corner, and it's going to be off of Banks, who swatted it away, and that's a bit of a lucky break there for Temple.
Absolutely. Settle was ready to pass that ball off to Berry for a 3, but he went ahead and cut to the basket. A little miscommunication.
Yeah, it looked like Settle was a little upset with Berry cutting to the basket there, thinking he would be there. But Settle, mid-range jumper is good off the inbound pass to Duradola, who gets the assist to Settle.
That was just perfect. Found a nice sweet spot right at the free throw line. Settle's making that just about every time.
Bumbaugh now bringing it up for Tulane. Berry guarding him. Berry, a really good defender, really showed out against Memphis last week, or last game, excuse me. It's basically last week now. It's Sunday. That was a Thursday game. Tulane now. Duradola with tough defense on his man. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Bumbaugh, pump fake, loses the ball, and it's going to be out on him. It's another Temple turnover. Great defense there from Temple, able to force Bumbaugh to try to break to the basket, who end up losing control of the ball. Quante Berry now brings it up for Temple. Big Let's Go Owls chant here in the Liacouras Center. Mashburn driving in, tries to pass it out to Dezzoni, but that gets blocked. It's still going to be Temple's ball, though.
That would have been a really wide open shot for Dezzoni if Mashburn was able to get that pass off. Definitely look for something quick, kind of like last inbound.
Absolutely. It looked like there was 3 players on Mashburn there. Bit of a high pass, a bit of a floater to Dezzoni, just trying to inbound it in. 10 seconds on the shot clock now. Dezzoni driving in, passing over to Settle. It gets tipped by Settle, and it's going to be Tulane's ball.
Unfortunate, just missed the grips of Settle. Would have been a nice setup for a 3 there.
Absolutely, and it looks like Tulane showing their defense very early in this game. They're cutting off many passing lanes here for Temple, and they're finding it tough to even find somebody else. A three-pointer for Tulane is good. That is number 3. Once again, Williams with his second three-pointer of the game already, and they're definitely going to have to try to guard up on him since he's feeling hot to start this one.
Absolutely. Cam Williams, just a freshman as well, going out there playing some pretty good ball.
Mashburn takes a really contested 3, but they're going to call the foul. Mashburn looking to try to go back-to-back threes, trading with Williams, and he ends up getting the foul call, which was lucky because I don't think that was a really good shot to take there.
Yeah, not necessarily, but I think that's kind of what Mashburn was going for. He wanted to get a shot up, try to get himself into this game here.
Absolutely, and another interesting thing that Coach Fisher looked to be starting to do, mainly against Memphis, Zion Stanford came in for Steve Settle, and he is playing power forward right now. It looks like they're going with more of like a small ball type lineup.
Yeah, I don't mind that. It's definitely going to be quick, going to be able to get those passes a little bit more open. I think they're just trying to mess with some things here, try to see what can work against this Green Wave defense.
And, I mean, now who do you put on Caleb Banks? I guess Duradola would have to guard him now because I don't want the smaller guy like Stanford on Banks.
I think you might see a little Dezzoni.
Okay.
But let's see here.
Yeah, it looks like coming up for the court, Tulane, Banks coming in from the back. It looks like Duradola is going to line up against him right now. Williams was feeling himself. Mashburn against him. A bad pass straight to Duradola. Now Barry on the fast break, passing to Stanford, who just checked in. Bounce pass is going to miss Duradola, and that is going to be a turnover for Temple here as we are approaching our first media timeout of the half. Troy, the defense for Tulane seems to kind of be overbearing for Temple's offense so far.
Absolutely. I'm seeing some guys open, like on that last possession. Mashburn was out open by the 3, just unable to get it to him. Temple's just going to have to take it a little bit slower, find what they like, find their shots. It's definitely not going to come easy today.
Absolutely. We are up against our first media timeout of the half. Don't go anywhere. We will be back once both teams hit the court. Welcome back to WHIP Radio on YouTube. I am Jay Colesauer alongside Troy Arslan, and the Temple Owls are down by 4 here very early into the first half, only 5 minutes to go, and it looks like so far this Tulane defense is doing a really good job at stopping any attack that Temple has so far early in this game. And they're coming out with the same 5, Shane Dezzoni, Quante Berry, Jamal Mashburn, Zion Stanford playing forward, who came in for Steve Settle, and then Babatunde Duradola at the 5. It looks like the band is going to have a lot of fun this game. They're very loud.
Absolutely. When the crowds are a little thin, that's when the Temple band likes to take over.
Inbounding it now is Tulane. Bringing it up was Glenn, then he passed it up. It looks like full court press works for Temple as they brought it out here to start the timeout, and they forced a turnover right away.
Worked just like Adam Fisher wanted. Definitely was in that timeout, coaching him up. Absolutely great execution by Temple right there.
Coach Fisher, mainly against Buffalo, is the last game that I called on. They really brought out that full court press randomly. It wasn't really expected. As Jamal Mashburn, wide open from 3, in the wing, hits it. And that is a 3-pointer from number 24.
There it is. I was kind of seeing it a little bit. They weren't able to get it to Mashburn, but he hits his first 3, and the defense is continuing to play amazing. That's gonna be out of bounds, I believe, for Tulane, but amazing defense by Temple.
Yeah,
and Temple's going to keep possession, actually.
Yeah, Temple's going to keep possession here. Again, great play from Coach Fisher and this Temple team, calling full court press once again. And Tulane looks like they are having struggles now bringing it up the court. That's 2 possessions in a row. They just throw it away because of the full court press. Dezzoni now and Berry passing it back and forth. Berry being guarded by Bumbaugh. Zion Stanford now switching on to Brumbaugh. Stanford working on his man over to Mashburn at the top of the key. Tries to draw the foul at the shot clock, does not hit the shot or draw the foul. It looks like Temple is really struggling to find these opportunities as Quante Berry almost steals that ball, but Brumbaugh is there to get the ball back. But it looks like Temple is really taking their time trying to put up shots since they can't really find anything going for them. Down low. Dezzoni guarding. The pump fake and the shot is good. That was number 2, Glenn.
Despite the score, Quante Berry being very opportunistic with his defense, trying to get in there, poke away at the ball whenever he can.
Yeah, that was a really good shot from Greg Glenn as well to get Dezzoni jumping with the pump fake and then laid it up on the glass. Quante Berry, wide open from the wing, does not hit it. The rebound for Duradola is good. Over to Mashburn now at the wing, who ends up getting fouled. And we'll see if the refs call it on the shot. It looks like he is going to be lining up at the line as Mashburn looking to add 2 points here.
And Duradola's going to come off the court for Steve Settle. Duradola showing his growth with rebounding.
Absolutely. They didn't call it on the shot, so Berry going to rebound it here. The inbound from Berry to Settle gets it over to Stanford. Stanford out to Dezzoni on the wing. Stanford now, jump shot is good. A very nice pump fake from 3 to get a nice, easier jump shot from inside the arc, and that cuts this lead down to 1 for Tulane.
Those shots right around free throw outside the perimeter, or inside the perimeter, is exactly where Zion Stanford wants to go at the start of the game, get himself going, get those easy jumpers, and he's just going to build off that throughout this game.
Absolutely, and Tulane just threw away another possession here, as it looks like both defenses are doing a very good job of stopping each other's offenses. The matchup for this game so far seems to be very, very intense and tight for both teams.
That's going to be the 6th turnover for
already.
Tulane.
Yeah, wow. 6 total turnovers already for Tulane, and it's only been 7 minutes. Checking in for the game now is Matteo Piccarelli, but also Muhammad Kita, the junior 7'1" from Guinea, as Jamal Mashburn hits another shot.
I figured we'd see Mo Kita a little bit more out there after his performance just the other day.
Once again, another bad pass for Tulane, but unfortunately it was hit off, I believe, the tip fingers of Kita, and Kita got really significant minutes last game against Memphis, and it was kind of a surprise to see him in there since he really didn't play much of the season against such a good team, but it looks like he might be fighting his way into the rotation now.
He could be a really big piece for Temple further down the line this season.
Definitely big. He is 7'1". Tulane kind of struggling with the ball now, and it's a turnover for Tulane. They're 7th of the game already. Temple now bringing it up from Mashburn. Kita on the pick and roll does not hit, but it was a bad shot from Dezzoni. He kind of ran away from the pick from Kita, which you don't want to do most of the time. Usually that play is set up where you try to do the pick and roll. Matteo Piccarelli checked into the game and is now on defense. The corner three for Tulane, hits it. Trying to check who that was. Believe that was number 5, Jordan, who checked into the game. Mari Jordan, the redshirt freshman from, guess what, Troy, we were talking about before the game, Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes, sir, my home state. Got 5 players on Tulane from Georgia, so they're very interested in the Georgia boys.
Absolutely. Zion Stanford puts up a layup to tie the game, and it's now sitting 13-13. Tulane now at the wing, does not take the shot, but brings it in the arc, misses it. Good defense from Matteo Piccarelli. And now Piccarelli bringing it up. Slows it down, passes over to Stanford. Dezzoni wide open at the top of the key. Bounces out.
Unfortunate, I saw him taking those shots during practice, so I thought that one would fall there, but definitely next shot, I think he'll get a better look.
Absolutely. Brumbaugh now bringing it up for Tulane. Over to the wing. Mashburn on defense. To the top of the key. Tulane, Brumbaugh for 3, hits it, and that's what Troy was talking about. You gotta watch out for him shooting the 3.
Absolutely, he's coming off a game shooting 3 for 5 from 3-point, so when he needs to, he can be a good shooter.
Brumbaugh now immediately goes back to defense on Mashburn. Mashburn calling from the pick from Kita. The defensive switch, Brumbaugh now on Stanford, and he is gonna end up being fouled as another timeout has been called, but 16-13 here with 10 minutes left in the first half. Troy, what have you seen from Temple, and what do you think they need to improve on so far?
Well, Temple's playing some really great defense in the front court, in the back court, and they're doing a great job pressing. They just need to be a little bit more sound on offense, take it a little bit slower, find your shot, but it's really difficult when you're getting 2 guys on you on defense, so it's a little bit difficult for them. But something I did notice, 10 minutes into this game, and there has just been 1 substitution for Tulane. These Tulane players play a lot of minutes with their most minutes getter is going to be Rowan Brumbaugh with 32 minutes a game. A lot of their guys will stay out there, but Mari Jordan, who just came onto the floor, their 6th man, is going to be that guy coming off the bench, filling in.
Absolutely. There are 4 main starters: Banks, Brumbaugh, Woods, Williams, and Glenn. They all average over 24 minutes a game, and then there is the lone Mari Jordan, 20 minutes coming off the bench. So they definitely are a very front-heavy team with that 6-man rotation. But I think that Temple definitely needs to start guarding the 3 a lot more. I mean, Tulane has yet to miss a shot from 3. They're 4 for 4 at the 3-point range so far. So they definitely are doing a great job of playing really intense press D, but that could come with a couple of hiccups, like getting guys wide open when they beat the man-to-man coverage.
Absolutely. As this game becomes quicker and quicker, the 3 is going to be harder and harder to cover, and it's going to be open a lot more. So it's going to be important to slow the game down at times when you're struggling with that 3-point defense.
Absolutely, and I think it's a very interesting decision from Coach Fisher to bring Mo Kita in this game so early, because he did help out the defensive aspect against Memphis last week very well. He's a very good defensive player and very tall. He brings in a very tall presence to this team. But against an already great defensive team that doesn't win their games through offense. Tulane wins their games through defense. Why bring in a defensive-minded player when you should be trying to outscore their defense?
Right, I think Fisher sees the height difference a little bit with some of their players, and he kind of wants to put Keita out there to see what he can get, if they can get any easy dump-offs, try to get some of those easy buckets. Anything is going to help Temple here.
Absolutely. I mean, there are two forwards for Tulane. Cam Williams, he's 6'8", 190. And, I mean, Greg Glenn's 6'7", 230. That's a couple of big bodies to have down low. And compared to Temple, Steve Settle, he's 6'10", but he's 192. So his mass kind of is a lot more lengthy than it is wide. So it's going to be hard to see and interesting to see how they defend those two players down low.
Absolutely.
Duradola's out there, and he's a very big guy. But then now we have Stanford out there instead of a guy like Settle. Temple now waiting to inbound the ball, 16-13 here with 10 minutes left in the first half. And let's see what Temple can do with this possession. The ref's trying to sort something out here. And we play on. Piccarelli brings it into Duradola. Stanford now getting guarded very closely from Brumball. The spin, and they're gonna call a foul on Tulane there. We're gonna see if it was on the shot, and it was not. Piccarelli inbounding the ball once more. Almost the same repeat of what just happened. Piccarelli to Duradola, but now to Barry. Barry passes over to Dezzoni. Dezzoni spin move, right hand gets blocked. And that was a very nice block from Daniels.
Temple clearly came into this game wanting to attack the rim, wanting to rush the lanes, and they're just not able to do that right now. Temple does a great job of going up for their layups and passing the ball if it's not there.
Very contested shot from Stanford, but he's going to be able to draw the foul. And it looks like Temple is going to have to play. It's interesting because Temple, they usually don't play around the arc as much as certain other teams, but it looks like they might have to start playing around this game because the lane and the paint in this game have been very, very closely defended by Tulane.
Absolutely. If you can spread out that defense just a little bit with some three-pointers or some deep shots, that could really help soften up that inside defense, and then those layups and those lanes will be a little bit more open for guys like Mashburn and Stanford.
Yep, and exactly what I was talking about. Steve Settle comes in for Duradola to try to bring, even though Steve Settle, he is a starter on this team, he has the capability of shooting threes. And same thing with Matteo Piccarelli. Both of them are in this game, hopefully and potentially to try and hit those threes.
Absolutely. Just one thing you got to watch out with Piccarelli on his defense. It gets a little bit shaky, so if he can play some just a little average defense, I think that could really, really help alongside getting a couple shots in.
Absolutely, and another foul from Tulane, once again coming off of this very closely guarded, tight defense, full court press, and now Temple finds themselves with possession once more. It looks like Tulane is struggling to find a sort of counter to this press coverage, as there was a guy wide open down the court, but there was a foul trying to get him the ball.
And as quickly as Matteo Piccarelli came in, he came right out, Mashburn back on the floor.
Absolutely. Mashburn now with the ball, breaking down Brumball. Dezzoni now in the corner. 2 on the shot clock. Tries to pass it to Settle instead of getting a shot up, and it's another shot clock violation, which it seems like Temple is trying to beat every possession.
Just can't put yourself in the corner over there. It's really hard to get out of, and that's exactly what they want to do.
Especially when you hold it for about 6 seconds like Dezzoni did there, which kind of drained the shot clock. Very nice layup, missed from Tulane, and now Temple trying to go on transition defense.
That was number 5, Mari Jordan, missing that shot.
Mashburn now trying to work on Brumball. Settle, pump fake, Sanford pump fakes once more, drives into the lane and gets a nice layup. And I mean, it looks like Temple right now, their game plan is to try to bait that three-pointer.
Absolutely. It was a beautiful Euro by Stanford and just trying to get anything that they can here. Here's another turnover. Bad pass from Tulane. It's going to be Temple's ball.
Yeah, that pass was from Glenn, who didn't get it to his teammate whatsoever. He threw it into the stands. And now Temple once again looking with another turnover from Tulane and has possession of the ball. Tulane very, very sloppy on offense so far in this game. Barry now over to Dezzoni. Settle in the corner, showing a bit of double team defense there. Stanford at the free throw line, down to Barry, and misses the wide open layup. He gets the ball back, and that's why Barry's on this team. Barry is a very good player. He always doesn't finish the play until he either hears the whistle or he knows that he gets the bucket.
Just electric. Great play from Barry there. Finds a soft spot in the zone, cuts in, misses a rebound, gets the layup, gets the rebound, gets the steal, and then puts it up for a layup. Just absolutely great play from Barry there.
Barry's such a high horse player. He does not stop when he's on the court. When he is on the court, he has constant momentum. He's constantly moving. You can never see him just standing, waiting to see what's happening. He's always a threat when it comes to being on the court. Tobiasen now checks into the game, and Brumbaugh over to the wing. Wide open guy in the corner, doesn't take the shot, rather puts up the floater over Settle, and that was a very nice shot from Tulane. That was number 0 who just checked in the game, Ringgold. Tyler Ringgold, the redshirt freshman from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The 3 from Stanford is no good. Tulane now bringing it up. Drives into the lane, gets the layup over Stanford. He put his body into Stanford and puts up the 2.
Stanford just not able to do anything right there, puts his body into him and just gets the layup.
Yeah, Ringgold once more coming off the bench and adding a little bit of juice to this Tulane offense. Quante Barry now over to Stanford. Another pump fake from 3. He's done that multiple times this game. Puts up the 2, misses it, and the refs are going to call out on Temple. It's Tulane's ball. It's very interesting to see how Temple is scoring the basket today, because it looks like they're kind of sitting around 3, but instead of taking those shots, they're pump faking and trying to drive to the lane, which hasn't really been working. They're shooting 37% from the field to Tulane's 73. So, I mean, what do you think Temple needs to start doing?
I mean, I think they're doing a pretty good job right now. They're trying to, like I said earlier, try to spread out that defense and find those lanes, find those soft spots in the zone. And Stanford did a good job of that. Quante Barry did a good job of that. So I think they're finding their rhythm on offense. As for the defense, I think they just need to continue what they're doing and maybe play a little bit more physical. There was a lot of physicality against Memphis, and Temple just needs to keep bringing that. It was just a few days ago that Temple played Memphis, so I'm sure they're a little bit tired after that very exhausting game, but they're playing very, very good right now. I think they're doing as most as they can. The fans aren't really crazy like they were last game, not juicing them up, but they're juicing themselves up, and they're putting together a pretty good game.
Absolutely. The defense looks strong. The offense struggling a little bit, but we'll definitely see once they come back out on this court for the second media timeout. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back to WHIP Radio on YouTube. Jay Colsauer alongside Troy Arslan. Tulane up 22-18. A great defensive battle so far as Temple bringing back the full court press against this Tulane team who already has 9 turnovers in this first half. Tobiasen back into the game. Quante Berry playing defense on Brumball and hits the nice layup. Kind of got around Tobiasen there and gets 22-18 now.
Nice job maneuvering through the paint, able to find a bucket there.
Especially with Brumball, who sits around three-point range looking for the three-point shot. Tobiasen probably wasn't expecting him to drive into the lane so forcefully.
Absolutely.
Mashburn now turning the ball over. It got poked away.
Looked like he got pushed to me just a little bit there. Maybe I just didn't see it that well.
It seems like Temple is really focusing on the corners with Steve Settle, who was sitting in the corner here, and then Dezonia, who sits in the corner on the other side, as Brumball not able to get that layup. Great defense by Zion Stanford.
Looks like Stanford
Mashburn on the fast break.
That's a goaltend.
Yep, you're right, Troy. Goaltend on Tulane there.
And it looks like Stanford got a little bit of a coaching tip on that sideline. You need to go up strong and straight when you're getting a defender coming up for a layup, and I think he did just exactly that on that defense there.
Absolutely, especially when he's playing the 4 right now with Settle at the 5. Brumball 4-3, misses it, and that's a lucky shot for Temple as Brumball wide open isn't going to miss many. Quante Berry driving in. Floater is good. Very clean floater from Quante Berry.
Perfect execution. Really got to love that from him. His play style is just really, really amazing, and it's helping this Temple team so much.
Absolutely. This full court press still coming out from Temple. Tobiasen now. Tobiasen switching with Settle. Settle now guarding Glenn. Glenn, hop step. Does a couple spins, but does not hit the shot. Steve Settle with very good defense.
Great rebound, too, there. Takes it up the court.
Settle passing it over to Stanford. Stanford working on Brumball. Back to Berry, who pump fakes from 3. And they're just going to have to reset a little bit.
Berry pointing into himself, tapping his chest, wanted to shoot that 3.
Mashburn misses the wide open shot, but Settle pushes the rebound back as there was a big collision between Glenn and Mashburn. Tobiasen is going to end up traveling.
Tobiasen didn't think that he would kind of move through that contact as much as he did. He came on really strong, leading to the, I believe, travel. Yep, travel, turnover.
Yeah, Dezonia checks in here now for Quante Berry. But I agree with you, Troy. I think Tobiasen didn't expect to have so much give with the defender in his face, and he kind of just like pushed back, expecting there to be a lot more force against him. But he had an open lane that he didn't end up taking.
Yeah, just kind of tumbled forward there. He definitely wants to have that one back.
Once again, though, I mean, Tobiasen learning how to become a scorer as one of the lone freshmen or 2 freshmen that start on this team. Tobiasen now, there is that defense, forces a bad shot from Tulane. But there is a foul call here. It looks like it's going to be on Tulane, potentially, because it looked like Steve Settle was clapping.
It's going to be a jump ball.
Yeah. Let's see what the official call is here. A lot of players standing around the ref. And it looks like it was a foul on Temple, which gives Tulane possession on the inbound. Glenn now at the top of the key, guarded by Settle. Glenn down low. Gets the tough layup over 2 defenders. Tobiasen and Settle were both there.
Yeah, he gathers himself in the paint, under the basket, and he goes up strong, gets that shot.
Mashburn now over to Dezonia on the wing. Dezonia working on his defender. Loses control of the ball, and it's a turnover for Temple. And Temple isn't far behind in this turnover game. Glenn, pump fakes from 3, a nice block from Tobiasen. And now Stanford on the fast break. Settle with the ball, Euro step, initiates contact.
Nice.
And that is a powerful move from Steve Settle.
You can see that he grew up playing guard with his 6'10" frame. That was a guard move, and he did a great job getting in that lane, putting up that layup.
And he also did a very good job initiating contact, but staying through it.
Absolutely.
He hit the Euro step, and then after the Euro step, he leaned his shoulder in and got the shot up to get it to fall. Temple tied 24-24 with 4 minutes to go in the first half. We are going towards another timeout. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to WHIP Radio on YouTube. I'm Jay Colsauer alongside Troy Arslan, and we have a tied game here in the Liacouras Center, 24-24 against Tulane. Very high, intensive defensive matchup so far here in this one. Babatunde Duradola checks back in for Temple, and it's very interesting. It looks like Coach Fisher is trying to not have Settle or Duradola on the floor at the same time. So I'm not sure what the decision is on that, but Tulane bringing the ball up here. Back and forth movement at the top of the key. Brumball over for three, misses it. That was Banks on the shot there. Dezzoni now bringing it up. Mashburn now slowing tempo down a little bit here for Temple. Trying to wave through traffic. Mashburn, pump fake from three. Seen a lot of those today. Stanford now at the wing. Dezzoni being guarded by Brumball. Duradola, the screen. Mashburn wide open for three. Does not get fouled. It looked like he tried to draw it a little bit there. And Tulane now with the rebound, bringing it up. To the wing is Temple. Driving in onto Bison. Tough jump shot is no good. Stanford with the rebound and the jump ball, which ends up in a turnover. Quante Berry looks to check into the game now for Tobiasen. And it looks like one of the big contributors from last game against Memphis, Dezzoni, as Settle comes in for Stanford here, really has been held in check this game so far.
Absolutely. Still playing on those rebounds, trying to do as much as he can. Well, being pretty cold offensively. So look to go to him coming up this rest of the half and next half.
Mashburn from the wing, hits it. Mashburn hits his second three-pointer of the game to give Temple a 3-point lead over Tulane.
That's just fantastic ball movement. That's what Temple's going to need to see a lot more of for them to win this game. Duradola with a nice little deflection at the top of the key.
Tulane regained possession, the three from Tulane, and now they're just trading shots. That was number 2, Glenn, I believe. Excuse me, check that, number 5, Jordan, off the bench. Mari Jordan. Quante Berry now putting up a 3, he hits it. Just trading back and forth threes right now, and this is an interesting sight because both defensive teams are coming alive offensively.
Absolutely. What started to be a very defensive game has turned into quite the shootout.
Another jump shot here, this time from Banks, and I mean, both teams are coming alive.
Banks had a really, really bad start to this game, getting his first points in the 2 minutes left in the game. I'm sure he's going to be a big factor.
Absolutely. I mean, Banks being held in check. Settle from 3 now is feeling it.
That got tipped as well, and Settle still buries it. What a shot.
Steve Settle, 3 3-pointers in a row for Temple now, and I think they're feeling themselves, Troy.
Absolutely. This is the best way to end a half, exactly what you want to see, and there's going to be a foul on Duradola, who had some foul trouble last game. But I'm not too worried about it. Duradola, when he usually gets his fouls, is when he's playing the most aggressive, playing his best defense, and that's what you want to see.
Steve Settle at the top of the key. Very, very nice shot.
And it didn't look like it got tipped?
I'm honestly, I didn't see it, but let's see from the replay. Not 100% sure if it got tipped, but it was very good defense. That's the thing. So I would 100% understand if it did get tipped. Tulane now off of a foul from Duradola. Settle now playing defense at the top of the key, down to Glenn, who just muscles through Stanford, and that is one disadvantage of playing Stanford in a big man's role.
Absolutely, just one of those that it's going to happen when you have that height difference. Absolutely. And Glenn is just able to get his body into him and get that basket.
Quante Berry drives in. The pass, very nice pass to Zoni, who almost finishes it, but he's going to get fouled at the rim.
Amazing vision. Gotta love that pass. Zoni knew exactly when to cut, just isn't able to come down with that hard lay. Would have been a great play.
Absolutely. Very, very tough finish at the rim. Would have been very impressive if he made the shot. He had to do like a reverse layup, as Berry, once again with that vision. I mean, he jumped up in the air and he either took the shot or passed it, and he decided to pass to the cutting Zoni.
And I mean, I believe he leads this team in assists. No wonder why that vision showing it off right there.
Absolutely. Zoni ends up missing the first free throw, but Berry, 2.3 assists per game, leading the team. And number 2, right behind him is Mashburn with 2, and Stanford as well with 2.
Someone who I'm surprised we're not seeing more of, Dylan Battie. He's a 6'8" freshman who's been playing really well, in my opinion. I would love to see him get some more minutes. He brings a lot of electricity. At the start of the season, he was throwing down lobs. He was doing pretty good with some three-pointers as well, so maybe that can come up throughout this game.
Absolutely. Zoni hits his second free throw to extend this lead to 3, but like you said, Battie had a lot of crucial minutes in the beginning of the season, but then kind of taken a step back here later into the year. Very tough layup from Tulane there, and it was a very nice shot from Mari Jordan.
He's able to extend his arm all the way up there, just by the rim, and he's able to just poke that one in.
Yeah, that's what length gives you. He has very long arms. Mashburn now drawing this clock out. 23 seconds left on the game clock, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Zoni at the corner tries to stay in balance and kind of just throws it away. And that is not the first time we've seen Zoni trapped in the corner in this half. A timeout was taken, but we'll stay here until the end of the first half. I'm surprised that Zoni really doesn't have many points today. I mean, he has been kind of sitting around the corner, but I mean, 0 for 3 from shooting, 1 point coming off the free throw. What do you want to see from Temple's offense moving forward into the second half?
I think that they've got to get the ball movement a little bit more clean. It's not going to work too well if you're just taking a couple dribbles, passing it off, and then going straight for the lane. We need to see a little bit more passing around the perimeter, moving guys around, I think the movement, I think the offense is just a little bit too static for this good defense Tulane has.
Absolutely, and I think Tulane's doing a really good job of matching Temple's energy throughout the game as well, because when Temple went on the streak of 3 straight threes, Tulane still hit right back and didn't miss a shot during those possessions for Temple.
Absolutely, this is a very even matchup, and it's definitely going to go down to the last minute.
Absolutely.
I'm loving what both teams are showing me right now.
Yeah, Matteo Piccarelli checks back in, which is interesting because he's not known for his defense, and it looks like Tulane might have a chance to hold for the last shot. Only 10 seconds left to go in this first half. Brumbaugh brings it up. Tobiasen on him, kind of just chucks it up, and I mean, there's like no game awareness there. I mean,
he's calling for the foul. He was trying to go for the foul. He didn't get it. That's pretty much what he wanted.
It looked like he might have tried to throw up the shot and cause the foul, but he didn't really chuck up a shot in a basketball move. He kind of just threw it over his head.
Seems to be a little bit more upset with the refs than he is himself.
Quante Berry now bringing it up with 1 second left. Duradola is the one that takes the 3 and he hits it!
Oh my God!
Duradola, not known for his three-point shooting. And they're gonna say it was too late.
Oh no!
That was so close.
Duradola, the big man, ends up with the ball with just milliseconds left on the clock. He lines it up and he shoots and it goes, but it's just a couple milliseconds late. The buzzer hits. Unfortunate.
And there's no way that was the play call. Duradola got the ball and he was confused.
He was so shocked. That was hilarious to see. He was not expecting that whatsoever.
I don't think anybody in the stadium was expecting Duradola to take the final shot of the first half.
I thought he was gonna hold it.
Yeah, honestly, me too. But it concludes the first half here at the Liacouras Center. 34-33 is your score heading into halftime. And Troy and I are going to end up switching spots, doing play-by-play and color going into the second half. So don't go anywhere. 15 minutes, and we will be right back for this very, very close game. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back in, everybody, to the Leah Chorus Center. My name is Troy Arson, alongside Jake Holzhauer. This is WHIP Radio on YouTube, and the Temple Owls are taking on the Tulane Green Wave. The score is 34-33, coming back from half, just under 3 minutes before we get this thing going for the final half of the game. Jake, what are you thinking of this team so far?
It's been interesting to say the least, because coming off that big win off of Memphis, we keep going back to it. But again, it's such a big event and also really shows what this team can be at its best level. And against this Tulane team who is top 3 in the conference for defense, it seems like it is a very defensive battle for both teams. But Temple right now slightly edging Tulane in the scoring department, only by 1 point. But I mean, the field goal percentage for both teams, Tulane taking a lot more free shots, getting a lot more free shots, as the full court press from Temple has allowed some players to get open and get easier shots than Temple's been putting up. Because, I mean, Temple 48% from the field, only 44% from 3. Seems like they're having a very tough time finding those open shots.
Absolutely, and going back to what you said about the game against Memphis, once you see your team play that well and being against such a good team, it really gives you a lot of confidence, and I think they're riding off that energy, and they need to take it into the second half against Tulane. The rebounding has not necessarily been a problem for this team. They're actually out-rebounding Tulane 16-11, which is an absolute perfect sight to see. That's exactly what Temple needs to do to win these games. Struggling throughout the season with rebounding, they're coming back with a second straight game, playing well, rebounding.
Absolutely, and another big thing that Temple has contributed towards this game that has helped them is the lack of shooting fouls. They haven't had one yet in the first half in this game whatsoever. Tulane has yet to shoot a free throw, which is really good for Temple, because you don't want to give up those easy points, those almost free points to another team, against especially against a team that plays such good defense that won't allow you to get easy buckets. So Temple doing a really good job not letting them score from the free throw line, but also that comes with a little bit of a wound as well, where even though they're playing really good defense, they're also allowing Tulane to get easier shots than Tulane is letting Temple get on offense.
Absolutely, and you don't want them going to the lane, because this team is a pretty good free throw shooting percentage. Their highest player, Asher Woods, with a 90% free throw ratio, and the rest of the team doing really well, up in the 80s, in the 70s for the starters, and 2 players in the 80s and 70s coming off the bench with free throw percentage. This game is just about to start up with the second half, and it looks like it's going to start with Tulane's ball inbounding. It is going to be Glenn, and in the back it is going to be back to Cam Williams.
Absolutely, and it looks like bringing out the starters here for Temple, as you know, Tobiason's back in, Barry, the main starting 5 is back out here to start the first half.
Absolutely, Brumbaugh passes over to Glenn. Glenn looks over to Mari Jordan. Jordan down into the paint, and that's going to be Banks with no good with the layup.
Very good defense from Duradola there, staying in the lane, planting his feet, and not letting Tulane get the easy bucket.
Barry at the top of the key passes over to Tobiason. Tobiason over to Barry. Barry sheds his defender. Tobiason in the corner for 3, and it's no good. Steve Settle dishes it over to Duradola. Duradola gets the dunk.
Very nice play from Duradola once again. This time just gets the rebound and puts up the dunk where nobody was after he got the rebound. And I like the shot from Tobiason as well. He isn't getting that many shots up this game, but that one was definitely a good look there.
Absolutely.
Bit
and
of
that's going to be another miscommunication, another turnover for the Green Wave.
Yeah, that's been a big proponent of the reason Temple is up right now.
Asher Woods is going to come into the game. Mari Jordan's going to come off the court.
Yeah,
Back to the starting lineup.
11 turnovers here for Tulane now, and that is really rough when you are this good defensively, but you're basically just giving the ball away on offense.
Barry handling the ball, passes across the court to Steve Settle. Steve Settle goes to Tobiasen. Tobiasen takes his time with Brumbaugh, gets hit out of bounds. A ball gets tipped out of bounds. Temple's going to keep its possession.
Yeah, tight defense there from Brumbaugh on Tobiasen. Tobiasen, not the biggest ball handler. He's still developing those skills here on a college level. But at least he wasn't the last one to touch it there.
Barry inbounds to Duradola. Duradola looks for a pass out to Steve Settle in the paint. Steve Settle works around, tries to get a shot up, no good. Rebounded up to Brumbaugh. He drives the lane. It's 1-on-2, and it's a foul.
Yeah, it was a 1-on-2. Tobiasen and Mashburn down low. The foul's going to be on Mashburn. And it looked like Tobiasen actually had a really good step on Brumbaugh there, but unfortunately Mashburn, who tried to poke it from the back, ends up getting called the foul.
Yeah, not incredible defense there, but it's better than giving them the 2 points straight out.
And I mean, I might have jinxed it a little bit here as Tulane now shooting their first free throws of the game. But we'll definitely see if they'll take advantage of these free shots.
Leah Course is going to get loud for these free throws. First one, no good. Off the back iron.
Hey, that's what happens when you haven't taken a free throw all first half. You're not really warmed up for it.
Absolutely. Go for the second, Brumbaugh. That one's in. Score is 36-35, Temple.
34 Tulane.
36-34, my bad. Mashburn takes it up, crosses half court, over to Barry. Barry taking a lot of the ball handling today. Steve Settle gets the ball, top of the key, Barry. Barry to the right, still at the top of the key, dribbling around. Over to Tobiasen. Steve Settle in the corner, dribbles the lane, tries to get a shot up, reversing, and he gets it, falling down.
Wow, very tough shot over 2 defenders there for Steve Settle, and that was just a very nice layup. Had a defender right on top of him as he tried to put it up.
Banks with the ball up at the top of the key. Settle playing some good defense. He's going to pass it over to Glenn. Glenn's going to drive the lane, and he's going to get a bucket right past Duradola. Duradola unable to move his feet there.
Yeah, very nice cut from Glenn there as he corralled the ball going to the basket, which kind of helped him get that extra step, which was why he was able to get that layup so freely.
Quante Barry again starting off the possessions, going to go over to Mashburn. Mashburn waits for the pick. Duradola's in the paint. Mashburn drives the paint, and he goes up for the layup. You just can't beat that sometimes. It's just so fast. He just beats around you.
Yeah, pick and roll right there. Mashburn ends up keeping it. Duradola was calling for it down low, but Mashburn, very good choice to get that ball and put it up for the layup.
And pass tried to get to Brumbaugh, I believe. Brumbaugh's going to inbound the ball off a turnover. Brumbaugh into Woods. Woods gets just an easy shot. Tobiasen's on the floor. They're going to call a timeout.
Yeah.
Tobiasen's grabbing his shoulder.
He's grabbing that left shoulder. He kind of fell hardly on the floor there, and that's not what you want to see from a very young starter here for the Owls.
Luckily for Temple, Asher Woods does not get the bucket. He was wide open for that bucket because Tobiasen did fall down. So luckily Temple is not going to be punished with those 2 points after Tobiasen gets hurt.
Yeah, good from Tobiasen there. It looks like he ran right over to the bench to let Coach Fisher know what was going on. And Dezzoni popped right up, so it looks like Dezzoni potentially would come in for Tobiasen here. It's nice to have the 1-2 combo just in case anything happens to either or. They can immediately come in and play great basketball as soon as they get replaced. But it looks like, yeah, Tobiasen's going to head out to the locker room. That's
really unfortunate. Already missing some guards in Lynn Greer and with Elijah Gray. So Tobiasen, that's going to hurt this team. But they got Dezzoni out there. They're probably going to look to some other guys on the bench coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah, the thing with bringing Dezzoni in, though, now is that he hasn't had that great of a game so far today. So you got to hope that he picks up where Tobiasen, unfortunately, the hole that he filled. Because Tobiasen has been a great starter all year for this offense, specifically for the defense, though, where he is a great defensive presence out there. Dezzoni, good at defense as well, but he's a bit can be hot and cold at times.
Absolutely. Inbound from Dezzoni. Barry takes it up the court. Offense going pretty slow right now, trying to set it up. Mashburn coming with the screen. Screen from Duradola. Around it goes Barry. Barry drives the lane. No good for the layup. Off the glass. Duradola picks it up off the glass and drops it for the layup.
Great instinct from Duradola there. I mean, of course you think Barry might hit this layup. It's very tough to hit. Duradola's just there just in case Barry misses it, and he gets the putback.
Brumbaugh gets the ball. He's at the top of the key. Working on Mashburn. Over to Brumbaugh. Brumbaugh calls for the screen. Asher Woods jumps for the three, no good. Tries to get a pass out. Brumbaugh passes to Banks, and Banks knocks down a three-pointer. That's going to be Banks' first three-point shot of the game, and just his second points.
Yeah, his second score of the game. He has 5 now. That was just great play from Tulane there. Banks hitting a tough shot over Settle.
Absolutely.
I like Temple's defense there as well, as Mashburn was able to get that nice layup.
And now it's Mashburn time. Mashburn is going to drive the lane once again and get a right-handed lay. This is just what he does. It's time for him to take over. He wants a bucket. He's going to go get it. Absolutely. Temple out on defense. Brumbaugh with the three, and it's good over Steve Settle. Amazing shot.
Yeah, second time Steve Settle has been in front of the defender to shoot the three. This time Brumbaugh a little bit more separation than Banks had, and if he's wide open, which he mostly was, he's not going to miss it.
Barry gets the ball at the top of the key. Brumbaugh with the defense. Barry off to the right, passes up to Steve Settle at the top of the key. Duradola calling for the ball. Steve Settle going to work, and it's tipped away. It looks like it's going to be Tulane's ball. With the media, timeout. Don't go anywhere, everyone. We got a good game right here at the Liacouras Center in North Philadelphia. We will be right back. Welcome back in, everybody, at the Liacouras Center. Temple up 44-42 over Tulane, and it's going to be Tulane inbounding over on Temple's side of the court. Sorry, Temple inbounding. Temple's keeping the ball. Out to Stanford. Stanford trying to put on some work. Moves the lane. Gets a nice turnaround. Jay in the paint. Great shot.
Oh my God, shades of Michael Jordan there with that type of play.
That was a really smooth shot from him.
Yeah, I mean, just the turnaround fadeaway jumper. Very nice from Stanford.
Absolutely. As we get Tulane down on the offensive side, Glenn gets the ball. Glenn putting the work on Steve Settle, trying to work something in the paint, no good, but there's a foul.
Yeah, called on Stanford there. He tried to help defense there, Settle a little bit, was reaching from behind and ended up hitting on the shot.
Sometimes that extra defense kind of bites you in the behind. Temple just having its second shooter foul, and there's going to be 2 for Greg Glenn.
Yeah, only 50% from 3. Last one from Drumball, he hit 1 of 2, and there we go, missed that one.
Off the back iron, Greg is not good for his first free throw. Let's see what we can do with his second.
Yeah, Glenn, 71% free throw shooter, not the best.
And he misses a next one. Steve Settle with the rebound. He'll bring it up, passing to Jamal Mashburn, who takes it up the floor. Mashburn dribbles around the key. He finds a spot he likes. He shoots a 3, and it's good. Great job from Mashburn trying to find his shot, and he got it.
Yeah, third 3 of the game for Mashburn here. Going to upgrade his points to 19 on the day so far. And he just found his spot, and he shot. That's all that happened there.
That's what he does, and he's so good at it. It's a scary sight when he gets going.
Absolutely.
Asher Woods drives the lane, and it's no good. Blocked by Dezzoni. What a great defensive play. He takes the ball up the court, and he's going to slam it. What a play from Dezzoni on both ends. What a play, gonna cause a timeout for Tulane. That is a grown man right there.
Wow. Dezzoni putting down the hammer. He made it in the top 2 of ESPN highlights last game, and he might have just made it again.
Wow, just absolutely amazing as we're going into the media timeout. Dezzoni electric after being cold for most of the first half. We will see you very soon after this break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back in. The Liacouras Center is rocking. Prior to the Eagles game, myself, Troy Arslan, alongside Jake Holzhauer, coming back from the media timeout. Temple with its highest lead of the day, 9 points, 51-42, Temple. Temple really coming out offensively, doing a great job today.
Great coast-to-coast play from Dezzoni, the block into the dunk, and oh my goodness, was it a spectacle to see. He got up there.
He was up, and he got up against Memphis as well. And then it's going to be Tulane's ball coming out the break. Brumbaugh bringing it up the court. Top of the key, we got Mari Jordan. Mari Jordan goes over to Greg Glenn. Down to Tyler Brumbaugh with the three, wide open, and it's good. He gets the foul, too.
Quante Berry, very tight defense there, and it's going to cost him on that play.
Ball moving around very, very quick there. That's exactly what Tulane has to do to get Temple off guard, and they get the three, and let's see if they can knock down the fourth.
Yeah, Brumbaugh starting to feel himself in this game. His third three-pointer of the game. He's got 12 points now in this one. And, I mean, we highlighted him before the game started. We definitely don't want him to get open shots. That wasn't an open shot, but he was still able to make it. That's just how good he is from three.
75% from three today. Very impressive, knocks down his free throw. He's got 13 points. Dezzoni gets the ball. Tulane comes out with a little bit of a press themselves. Berry with the ball.
Yeah, it cuts the lead down to 5 now for Temple.
Berry trying to work around this Tulane zone. Not making much penetration into it. Playing all on the outside, moving the ball around a little bit, trying to get an open shot. Stanford with the ball now. Goes up with a lay, no good on the floater.
Tough defense there from Tulane. That does cut Temple's 5 straight possessions with a field goal. And it looked like Stanford had a little bit of an opening, but unfortunately came up short with the shot.
And there's a bad pass. Mashburn on the fast break. Brumbaugh on the defense, and he fouls Mashburn. Did not want to see Mashburn get those points.
Yeah, very smart play from Brumbaugh there. I mean, you just don't want to give fast break free points in any situation here in a basketball game. So definitely a good choice to foul there if you're Brumbaugh.
Absolutely. Adam Fisher making a change. Steve Settle's going to come out of the game. And Babatunde Duradola is going to come in as the Tulane Mean Green Wave go out of bounds. They're taking the ball in. It will not be, or sorry, Temple's taking the ball in.
Yeah, very smart from Brumbaugh. He got the foul off before Mashburn tried to make a shot, so it's not going to be free throws.
Yep. Quante Berry gets the ball in the corner. Back to Dezzoni. Dezzoni tries to get into the paint. Goes out back to Berry. Berry puts some work in, drives the lane, kicks out to Stanford. Stanford pumps a three. Does a little spin into his lane, tries to find his shot, no good. It's a jump ball, and it's gonna stay with Temple.
Great defense there from Tulane.
You can see Stanford going in there, starting from the point and trying to move into the lane where he tries to get his nice little jumper that he had in that last half. Unable to get it there, but it's Temple's ball still. Inbound to Stanford. Stanford in traffic, loses the ball, out to Mashburn. Mashburn crosses the lane, and he gets the reverse lay.
Clean from Mashburn, just going through traffic, cutting in and out of players, and then is able to put the reverse lay up for the bucket.
Just a great job from Mashburn. Mashburn's up to 21 points on the day, and there's a three for Mari Jordan that is good. Getting the Temple defense off whack. It's going to be Temple's ball with a 4-point lead.
Yeah, no one there. Jordan was wide open in the corner there, and he makes Temple pay.
Dezzoni pumps a three, drives the lane, tries to get another dunk, but is blocked. Not blocked, it is a foul.
Yeah, it looked like Dezzoni was trying to put someone else in a highlight reel, but he did get fouled in the process. And, I mean, it's a great job to get the foul.
And that call is going to go against the Georgia native Caleb Banks, who's having a very, very cold game. He has 5 points today on 2 for 5 shooting from the floor.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Fisher has been doing a really good job putting Duradola and Settle kind of switching off between those two on 2 banks. And coming into this game, he's averaging over 18 points per game. But, I mean, only 5 today on 2 for 5 shooting. He has been non-existent for Tulane so far, as Picarelli's now checking into the game. And, I mean,
as we spoke about Banks as well, he comes off the floor. I believe Greg Glenn is going to come in for him.
Yeah,
as Dezzoni hits his 2 free throws.
It's just a great job from Temple here to shoot down the #1 scoring option here for Tulane.
Absolutely. Brumbaugh takes the ball up the court, the leading scorer for today. At the top of the key, he passes over, and that's going to be Mari Jordan. Mari Jordan takes a jumper just past the free throw line, and he's got it.
Dezzoni went for the steal there, and he kind of went behind Jordan to try to not get the foul, and it ended up hurting Temple as Jordan was able to get the jump shot there.
Team's just trying to get points here. Barry handling the ball. Barry out to Stanford. Stanford looking in the paint for Duradola. Duradola's unable to get the ball, and I believe that's going to be a foul on Greg Glenn going up against Babatunde Duradola.
Yeah, Aaron passed there, but it's because Duradola was kind of gripped around the waist and pulled back a little bit, so they're definitely going to call a foul there.
And that is going to bring us to our next media timeout, 55-51, 11:32 left in the game. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Liacouras Center. Temple up 55-51 over Tulane. Temple's going to be getting the ball to start this possession. Quante Berry, the inbound. Just 30 minutes away from Eagles kickoff in the divisional round, but first we got Temple hoops for you. Stanford with the inbound. Stanford looks like he got fouled, but there's no call. Ball goes out. 2-on-2 ball, and it's blocked by Dezzoni.
Dezzoni showing up big here. He might have not had the greatest first half, but this second half, he's starting to show up and come alive.
Dezzoni, his electricity is great. He's an amazing defensive player, and when he goes on offense, he's just a player to be reckoned with.
Also a big player to replace Tobias when it comes to the injury, and especially on that transition defense where Picarelli ended up slipping trying to follow his man.
Absolutely. Brumbaugh at the top. Brumbaugh working against Barry, drives the lane, kick out to Ingold. Ringgold hits the three. That was big for Tulane. It is 55-54, 1-point game. Barry with the ball taking up the court.
Yeah, you can't really leave somebody like that completely wide open in the corner like Ringgold was there. I mean, he's only averaging 4 points a game, but.
Nice find from Barry, gets it out to Stanford. Stanford tries to drive the lane, unsuccessful.
It seems like Stanford might be slightly scared of shooting the three ball tonight. He's been pump faking a lot from three, and I know he's very good at that mid-range jumping jumper, but I mean, take the three when it's there. The three was there, I believe.
Yeah, he's definitely being a little hesitant with that three. Probably part of the reason why Steve Settle is going to be coming in for him. He gets the inbound here. He swings it over to Matteo Picarelli. Devoni gives up the ball to Brumbaugh. Matteo Picarelli trying to get the ball back from Brumbaugh. No good. Duradola closes out on Mari Jordan. Three is no good. Steve Settle with the rebound. He'll bring it up the court. They want to go fast.
Yeah, good transition defense from Temple there.
Dezzoni runs the baseline from the three, kicks it out to Barry for the three, and no good. Duradola wrestles for the rebound, and it's going to be a foul on Tulane.
Yeah, we're going to see what this foul call there was, but good job for Duradola to get up there and get that rebound. It looks like it was over the back foul.
On Percy Daniels, I believe.
So it's going to be an inbound here for Temple as Mashburn checks back in for Picarelli.
Percy Daniels tied for the second tallest player on the floor with Steve Settle. Both of them are 6'10". Temple is going to call a timeout with the ball at the inbound. They are going to talk things over, try to get a play together.
Yeah, Tulane went on a bit of a run here in the second half so far. Temple had what seemed like a comfortable 9-point lead, but unfortunately Tulane has cut it just down to 1. So we're definitely going to see how this game can shape up for the rest of the matchup.
Absolutely. Adam Fisher needs Jamal Mashburn to be heavily incorporated into this offense, especially in this late game when things are moving so fast.
I mean, how much can Mashburn do though? 21 points already. You gotta kind of hope that other people can try to pick up where they're slacking.
Quante Berry's getting some really good looks with his handles. I think maybe he needs to be a little bit more involved. Maybe he needs to be taking those drives that Mashburn is and kind of doing what Mashburn does, because he's just a little bit bigger than Mashburn. So he can do similar things to Mashburn. So let's see if he can get himself a little bit involved, maybe some 3 points.
And I think Tulane has really come alive on offense here as well. I mean, the turnover battle, I mean, 12 to Temple's 11. And it's rough because they've done a good job doing that all game, with winning the turnover battle.
Duradola gets found in the paint after the inbound. He looks like he's ready to go up for a dunk, but he is fouled. Duradola is going to. Are we in the bonus? I don't.
No, sir. It's the
no,
second
sir.
half.
We're gonna stay.
It's gonna be a shooting foul on him though, so.
Okay.
It's gonna go to the line.
Duradola with his free throws.
First time he made it to the line today.
Hit a three just a little while ago that didn't count, and he'll get his first of the 2 free throws.
Yeah, that was a funny way to end the first half, as I don't think the play call was at all meant for Duradola to get the last shot up, but he was there, he hit it just with not enough time on the clock.
Yeah, I think it was Barry there who kind of just handed the ball to Duradola, who knocks down his second free throw. Duradola's 2 for 2 from free throw.
Yeah, that's huge for Duradola. Not known for his free shooting capabilities, but
absolutely.
Every time he hits him, it's definitely a plus.
Duradola with the block. Duradola playing some defense, unable to get the rebound, but Ringgold, he gets fouled.
Yeah, I mean, Duradola got up there. He's really good down low, but just like what happened in last game against Memphis, he stays down low and he always contests any shot that's put up, but when you do that, you definitely have a chance of getting a foul called on you like what happened there.
Absolutely, just that second effort. It's hard to play consistent, really good defense without giving up a foul sometimes. So on that second chance, they're going to get a foul, and Ringgold is going to knock down his first free throw.
Yeah, it's only his second foul of the game, so he's not potentially teetering on getting fouled out like he was last game.
That's something we were worrying about last week, our last game against Memphis, as the free throw is no good. Barry gets the rebound. 1 for 2 from free throw for Ringgold. Barry at the top of the key over to Steve Settle. Duradola sets a screen, and Steve Settle drives the lane, and he does a little maneuver midair and gets the bucket to drop. Great move by Steve Settle. Brumbaugh takes the ball up the court.
Yeah, that was great by Steve Settle. The signature drive in with his long legs, have a lot of separation.
And here's a three, no good. That is gonna be from Tyler Ringgold again. He's no good from three there. Steve Settle with the ball over to Barry. Barry looking for something. Settle pumps fakes a three. Dezzoni also pump fakes a three. Drives the lane out to Mashburn. Good ball movement. Let's get an open shot here. Steve Settle with the three. Contested, no good. Duradola with the board. Puts the ball in the court a couple times. Goes up for the lane, no good. 2 people on him there. It's going to be out of bounds on Tulane, though, so Temple is going to keep possession.
That was just a tough possession to watch if you're a Temple fan because, I mean, 2 what seemed to be open threes from Dezzoni and then to Settle, which were both pump faked and then passed away. It's just unfortunate. I think Temple needs to start taking more threes in this one, even though they're shooting 38%.
Dezzoni right off the inbound, right around the American logo. He gets a little jumper to go. Nice move by Dezzoni, real quick. Don't let the defense take any time to cover you. And we get a little bit of press from Temple on defense coming back. Brumbaugh gets a three at the top of the key. Barry on defense. Going to the paint. We kick it out over to, who's this?
I believe
that's number 3, Glenn. Nope, number 3. Williams.
Yeah,
these Tulane jerseys are a little bit hard to see the numbers,
absolutely,
especially from up here.
Yeah, the dark color on top of already dark black. It's very hard to see who's who on the court. But I mean, Cam Williams, the freshman from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Temple band always getting loud for 3 throws. Knocks down the first one.
Yeah, Williams, 3 for 3 shooting for the game, has yet to miss a shot. What I would say about Tulane is they are really good at finding their shots because they don't like missing shots, which is why, I mean, they're shooting 53% from the field.
They're very picky, which can be bad for your offense when defense is not giving you a lot to work with. But
yeah. 10 from 14 from 3. I mean, they are really, really picky when it comes to choosing what shots to take.
Quante Berry's going to take the ball out at the key, passes to Steve Settle. Steve Settle working on his man, passes back out to Mashburn. Mashburn could have had a 3 there. Instead, he decides to drive the lane, and he takes a jumper right at the free throw line. He's so good at finding those shots that just really come out of nowhere.
Yeah, once again, finds a spot, wasn't feeling it from 3, but 3 people actually came to entrap him, and he ends up getting the jump shot, which ends up falling.
Brumbaugh kicks out to Jordan. Jordan going to Cam Williams. Cam Williams to Glenn. Glenn drives the lane. No good against Duradola.
Banks calling for the ball wide open at the corner.
Oh, and it's no good. It's a air ball or a block shot by Barry. Mari Jordan is unable to come down with a 3.
I believe
he was
Barry
wide
got
open.
A hand on that one.
Dezzoni with the 3, wide open in the corner. It's good. There you go. Dezzoni heating back up into this game.
Great transition offense from Temple off the block from Barry, was able to get the ball up very quick and find Dezzoni wide open in the corner for 3.
Brumbaugh trying to move fast. He works into the paint against Barry. Barry's going to foul him. Jumping a little bit too early. Brumbaugh goes right up into that.
It's very interesting because going into this half, there was no free throws taken from Tulane, but just this half alone, they've taken 9 free throws. And most of Tulane's points this half have come off of free throws because they haven't made a field goal in the last 4 minutes.
That's just difficult, but Temple is up 9 points over the Tulane Green Wave, and we are going into a media break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to WHIP Radio on YouTube. Troy Arslan here with Jay Coleshauer. We've got a game here. Temple Owls taking on the Tulane Mean Green Wave. We've got free throws coming for Rowan Brumbaugh.
9-point lead here for Temple now. Once again, tying their biggest lead of the game.
Perfect position here. Brumbaugh makes his first free throw, rattles around the rim, but goes down. Goes for the second one on the floor for Tulane. Banks, Glenn, William, Brumbaugh, and Woods. That's your starting lineup back on the floor. Same with Temple. Barry gets the ball off inbound.
Looks like
full court
press
press here,
a
yep.
little bit, yeah.
Mashburn getting the ball, hasn't been doing a ton of ball handling. Loses it, gets it back after a fight.
Eventually gonna call foul.
That's gonna go against, again, the Georgia native, Caleb Banks. Looks like Mashburn.
I mean, Mashburn hasn't really been, even in that Memphis game, he rarely brings the ball up now. He was kind of like the main facilitator in the first point of the season as DeZoni now takes the free throw. But Mashburn hasn't really been bringing the ball up much for these last couple games. It's mainly been like Quante Berry or like a Stanford over Mashburn.
Which is great to see because Mashburn is still being productive without the ball in his hands. Early in the season, if he didn't have the ball in his hands, he wasn't necessarily that effective. Yeah. But today, he is.
I think Coach Fisher has realized that when Mashburn has the ball in his hands, yes, something special happens, but that means that the defense is more likely to help onto Mashburn when Mashburn has the ball.
Absolutely. Tulane looks to go quick, but two people go up against Brumbaugh as he brings it up. Banks over to Glenn. Taking their time trying to find their shot. Woods has the ball now at the top of the key. Glenn passes down to Cam Williams. Cam Williams passes out to Caleb Banks, who's not able to get the three.
Yeah, I mean, great defense once again from Temple. Banks was slightly open, but good job to get over to contest that. And Banks, I mean, he's been quiet all day today, so that's a really good job of eliminating the #1 threat.
Absolutely. Mashburn has a shot, not at the three, but he drives it into the lane and he takes two.
I mean, yeah, another good play for Mashburn to find his spot and make the two, but he's wide open from three. I think Temple's game plan today is to not take three-pointers.
Absolutely. Keep it safe. I mean, that's what's been working, taking the three that's there.
Absolutely.
But they're trying to push it to the rim every single time, and Steve Settle puts in good defense against Banks, unable to get the layup to fall. Mashburn goes out to Stanford. Stanford hesitates, and he still shoots the three if he went up with that. And the first go, DeZoni steals it.
Yeah, great play from DeZoni there. Stanford pump faked originally with the three. I think they're expecting him to pump fake now, and it looks like they're giving him a little bit more space at the corner, but Brumbaugh pokes it away from Barry.
Good defense at the top of the key. Passes it. Barry!
Even better defense from Barry.
Are they calling this a foul or is this out of bounds?
He poked it out.
He did. Wow. What a great defensive play. Like I said to start this game, Barry had a great game against Memphis on the defensive side, and he's continuing that.
And Banks has just checked out once more, and it looks like they're not going to use him much for the rest of this game.
Asher Woods, unable to get a shot he likes by the basket.
Yeah, Barry once again showing he makes a mistake.
Brumbaugh with a deep three by his screen. That's a big shot for Tulane. Tulane's going to come within 8 of Temple, 70-62.
Yeah,
with a timeout for Temple.
Before that three-point shot, I was going to say Quante Berry once again made a mistake, turned the ball over for Brumbaugh, but comes right back. His high motor does not stop until the play is finished, and he pokes it out, runs, chases down his mistake, which Brumbaugh was, and he was able to poke it away before Brumbaugh was able to put up a shot.
Absolutely. We're seeing some complimentary basketball here, folks. It's great to see. Let's take a look at our rebounds. Temple has 31-17 rebounding.
Yeah, like you said coming into this game, you thought that Tulane's size advantage would be a bit of an advantage for the rebounding, but it's actually been the opposite today. Temple, I think, has just been finding themselves in the correct position at the right time and getting the rebounds over Tulane most of the time.
And besides their 6'8" forwards, most of the height from Tulane is coming off the bench, and those guys aren't getting a whole ton of minutes, so that's why we're seeing these rebounds go Temple's way quite a bit.
Absolutely. I mean, you want to see, like, Banks, you want to see him get in the rebounding a little bit more, but he just hasn't really been there either because he really hasn't played much.
Full press once again, nothing Temple isn't used to after that Memphis game. Temple taking it slow with the offense, 5 minutes left in the game. Mashburn's going to drive the lane, and it's going to kick off his foot. Looks like discussion whether it kicked off a Tulane player or Mashburn.
Yep. Caleb Banks today, he 3 rebounds, 3 total turnovers, 3 fouls, and I mean a -9 on the plus-minus rating. So all around, not that good of a day from Banks.
Quante Berry going to inbound the ball, and a little information on Banks. Banks is averaging 18.5 points a game.
And he's being held to only 5 points today.
Impressive by this coaching staff for Temple, and execution from the players.
Yep. Jamal Mashburn was just fouled on a layup, so he is going to the line here. 25 points today for Mashburn. Really showing how he's a #1 scoring option for this team.
Absolutely. Mashburn with only 3 free throws. Makes his third.
Yeah, just an all-around great game once again for Mashburn, but it's not over yet. Still 9 points separating this lead, now 10.
Shane Dezzoni, who started off very cold, has got a nice 12 points on this game on 50% shooting from the floor.
Absolutely, with 3 rebounds and 3 assists. He's filling up the stat sheet.
Great to see it.
Which he does normally. He is a double-double threat constantly, whether that be with rebounds or with points.
Here we go, quick from Tulane. Asher Woods. Woods taking his time, passing it back and forth. It's going to go over to Glenn now. Glenn working on Settle. Passes it off to Woods. Woods finds a lane to the basket, moves around Settle in between Barry. And he's able to get that basket. No, nothing Temple can do, no one there.
That was Woods' first points of the game. He was 0 for 7 before that shot, and now he's 1 for 8.
Woods, also the Georgia native. As Mashburn takes the ball at the top of the key. Working on Brumbaugh. Good defense by Brumbaugh. Has to give it up to Stanford. Stanford drives the lane. A little, woo! Nice spin move for the jumper in the lane. That's his zone. That's where he wants to work, and he's going right there. As Glenn is going to pass it over to Mari Jordan. Mari Jordan going to fake a 3. He's going to run the lane, and he gets the basket.
Yeah, going back to that Stanford play, the very clean, nice pivot jump shot from around free throw range. And then right there, Mari Jordan, as that ball was poked away from Tulane, it's going to be their ball.
His move kind of froze me a little bit. Had to just watch and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Had to take a second and watch that.
Yeah,
it was a
Mari
beautiful
Jordan,
shot as we're coming up to another media timeout.
Yep, Mari Jordan, he did a great job of just mousing the house, using his body over Dezzoni, who, again, he is kind of big, but he's not one of the big men on this team.
Absolutely, and we've got an 8-point lead in North Philly. Don't go anywhere. 3:37 left in the game. We'll be right back.
Go back.
Welcome back into WHIP Radio on YouTube. We got Tulane taking the ball up the court against Temple. Brumbaugh faking a three on Mashburn, and he's just going to drive the lane. A little bit of a lazy lay, but his teammate gets the rebound. Glenn gets the rebound and puts the layup back in. Jamal Mashburn taking the ball up the floor. Dezzoni with the ball. Over to Barry. Jamal Mashburn taking his time at the top of the key now. Two defenders come at him. He's rushing the rim. He puts up a shot, and he's got it and one.
A lot of strength there needed from Jamal Mashburn to put that ball up over Glenn. And Glenn's no small dude. That's 6'7", 230 that he was going up against, and he was able to get the N1.
Jamal Mashburn doesn't care how tall his defender is. He'll use him as a ladder, and he'll get up there and score those buckets.
Absolutely, and he's chasing his career high in points currently. If he hits this free throw, he would hit 30, and his career high is 33.
Very big coming from Mashburn. A great game. He had just about 20 going into the half. Absolutely great showing from him as he knocks down this free throw. That will put him up to 30 points, just 3 from his career high.
Yeah, 33. Last time he hit that was against Nevada in 2023. So it's been about 2 years since he got up to around this point.
Tulane struggling against Temple's defense. However, there is going to be a foul on Jamal Mashburn. He's holding up against his taller defender. To shoot, it's going to be Tyler Ringgold.
Yeah, Ringgold.
The 6'8" man. Makes sense why he got fouled by Mashburn.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely don't want 6'8" to be going off of Mashburn like that. He came off the bench today, 8 points, 3 for 5 shooting, and he's really filled in the spot that Banks left behind today, because Banks has not been what he usually is.
Absolutely, as the free throws missed, but the rebound is picked up by Tulane, and Tulane is going to get that rebound.
Williams.
Temple up 7 still.
Williams on that putback there, the freshman, and he's had a great day too, has yet to miss a shot from the field. 4 for 4.
Quante Berry getting pressed the top of the floor. Dezzoni, he's going to rush, and we're going to get a blocking foul.
Yeah, it was very hard for Dezzoni to get past his defender there, but it looks like Tulane brought out the full court press this possession. So let's see if they're going to use that for a majority, but they are in the bonus. So Dezzoni's going to go to the line here.
If you're Tulane here, you're down 7 with free throws pending. What are you doing to try to get the score back up?
I'm forcing Temple to take threes. They haven't been taking threes all game. They've taken 15 threes, but they're shooting just 40% from 3 compared to Tulane 65. I mean, I'm forcing them to try to take threes, which they've been hesitant to take all game long.
Absolutely, as Dezzoni misses his first free throw, second one coming up.
Now, you don't want to keep people wide open from 3, but I mean, bait them into trying to taking those shots, because they haven't been really consistently hitting them today.
Dezzoni makes it to push the lead to 8. Brumbaugh with the ball once again. Passes it cross court. That's going to be a 3. Good for number 3.
Williams once more.
Cam Williams knocks down a 3 to make this a 5-point game.
A very good showing from the freshman now. I mean, he has 15 points. He's 100% both from the field and from 3. I mean, what a game from the freshman out of Lafayette, Louisiana.
Just a great job. He averages 31 minutes as a freshman. That is just absolutely great production from that player. And he's doing a great job here today as a role player, picking up what he needs to do.
Absolutely. I mean, both offenses have really come alive here in the second half. The first half was mainly a defensive showing, but I think both teams kind of have a strategy now against the opponent's defense, and I think it really shows now where both teams are now putting shots up.
Absolutely. Tulane with 10 fouls to Temple 7. Tulane needs a win here.
Both defense have really stepped up today as well. I mean, 13 turnovers forced from both sides of the ball. And what really has been the definitive factor of this game has been the rebounding. 31 from Temple to only Tulane's 19. And I mean, 12 of those rebounds being on the offensive side of the glass for Temple. and their rebounding just has been way better than Tulane's today.
Absolutely, and you can't ask much more from the three-point for Tulane. They've got 67%.
Yeah.
It's just not able to get the job done.
It's hard to see what they can do for the remainder of this game because they might want to take three-point shots, but it is risky when you're taking those three-point shots, even though they've been hitting them today. So
Absolutely.
They might try to cut this lead down with more three-pointers.
Absolutely. Full court press coming. Play's been drawn up by Coach Adam Fisher. We're going to get the inbound here from Shane Dezzoni out to Barry. Clean inbounding, had some trouble in the past with the inbound, especially against the press. However, they get across court with no problem.
Yeah, it looks like Tulane trying to copy Temple from the first half, trying to cause turnovers from the full court press.
Jamal Mashburn kicks the ball over to Stanford. Stanford no good for the three.
Exactly what I said, baiting the wide open three. Stanford has been hesitant all day, and right there it shows how he's not feeling himself from three today. He really isn't.
Unfortunate to get
the jump shot inside.
Brumbaugh working on Steve Settle. He does a reverse layup that is good to make this game just that much closer. 3 points is all.
Yeah, Temple's got to not take their foot off the gas here, but definitely stay within what's been working with them. Maybe not try to take those threes.
Temple can't afford a turnover here. Mashburn working, trying to get some points up. Dezzoni, no good, gets the ball stolen away from him. He's back at the other end. His shoulder's hurt. Brumbaugh taking a three, and it's no good. Quante Berry's gonna get that rebound. Very fortunate for Temple that Brumbaugh missed that three there. He was pretty open.
Temple got so lucky. Once again, literally like I said, coming in from this timeout, it looked like Tulane was gonna try to come back with the three, and so lucky that Brumbaugh missed the wide open three-pointer to tie the game.
Dezzoni's shoulder still not looking good. He's trying to shake it out. He's trying to make it work. Mashburn getting doubled. Mashburn taking a three, and it's good! What a play. Yeah. Absolutely amazing by him. It was a smothering coverage, but he still put that three up, and he got it.
Yeah, he stepped within the line, so it became a two-pointer.
Unfortunate, and there is a breakaway dunk from Caleb Banks.
Yeah, Banks stepping up when he needs it most. Mashburn, that contested two was very, very nicely shot. And then Banks just bringing it back with the quick two.
Mashburn making his way through the defense of Tulane. Passes it over to Quante Berry. Berry's wondering what's going on. There's whistles.
Fisher called a timeout because Berry was about to give the ball up. So very, very nice decision from Coach Fisher there, because Berry could have almost gave up a turnover with a jump ball, as there's a defender from Tulane that was trying to rip it away from him. And it's a three-point game with 25 seconds left, Troy.
Just 3 points. Temple needs a bucket here. Very important if they want to keep this game out of reach.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the wire here, because now Temple, who's going to have an offensive possession with only 16 seconds left on the shot clock after the timeout from Coach Fisher, if they miss a shot here, which they have to put a shot up, then it's going to give Tulane a chance to tie this game up.
Absolutely. They need to find a way to hold as much clock as they can. 16 points on the play clock, 9 seconds between the play clock and the game clock.
And if I'm Coach Fisher here, I'm drawing up a play for Mashburn. He's been the #1 scorer all day. He's 1 point behind his career high. He has 32 points in this game so far. So I'm drawing up a play for him and telling him to put up a shot.
An easy bucket is what you need here. That's
Absolutely.
all you need.
Absolutely. You might even need to use him as a distraction and get someone down low. Maybe Zion Stanford gets open down low. Maybe Duradola, they bring him back, and maybe he gets a bucket down low.
Temple's going to have some good ball security, make sure nothing gets poked out. Very defensive from Temple, what we need to see. Offensively, we need them to hold the ball.
They're going to drain this clock here for at least 10 seconds, which will give it looks like Tulane's probably going to have around 5 seconds left to put up a shot, which, I mean, they call a timeout and get down the court. It's very possible for them to put one up.
And Temple's going to inbound as the Eagles take the field as well. So we got this game finishing up and the Eagles starting up. Thanks for everyone listening with this Temple game. We'll be back to the Eagles shortly.
Quante Berry.
Quante Berry with this important inbound. He's looking around. He has to take a timeout. There's nothing there.
Oh my goodness, that was great defense from Tulane, but man, I mean, Barry couldn't find anything, so it looks like Coach Fisher's going to have to try to draw up a new play because Tulane was expecting everything they were going.
And that's just fine. They have that timeout to use. 25 seconds left. If it's there, use it.
Yeah, this is a rough situation because Tulane, again, known for being a defensive team, this is what makes or break, what could make or break your season here going into conference play. This is a huge AAC in division, in conference matchup.
Absolutely.
And these are the moments that can define who you are for the rest of the season. Temple sort of defining themselves last game against Memphis, but I mean, you can't, just because you beat one of the best teams in the conference doesn't mean you can't overlook another team.
This will be a statement. This will be a statement that Temple can compete in conference and play really well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially missing players.
Missing players. Elijah Gray's out. Tobias and seem to be ruled out for the rest of the game.
Jameel Brown hasn't played in forever, so they're missing guards left and right. And Barry is ready to inball this bound once again. Let's see what Adam Fisher drew up. Barry gets it to Dezzoni in the corner. Dezzoni taking his time.
Yep, this is exactly what Temple wanted.
Perfect. And he gives the ball up to Brumbaugh. Brumbaugh is the one you got to watch here. Down 3, no fouls. 12 seconds left. Banks. Brumbaugh has the ball. He's going to be the one to shoot it. He shoots. It's no good. Temple's going to win. Brumbaugh misses his shot to tie the game. Temple comes away with the 3-point win. Electric in Liacouras Center.
Yeah, a nightmare situation for Temple there, where Dezzoni gave up the ball and they got it into the best three-point shooter on the court's hands. And fortunately for Temple, he ends up missing the three-pointer to tie the game, and Temple stays undefeated here at the Liacouras Center.
8-0 for Temple at Liacouras. Just amazing. They want to play out for their fans. They want to show out. The fans love their team. They're coming out. The band's playing their victory songs. What a game by Temple.
Absolutely.
Coming off a game against Memphis where it was just a heavyweight bout, and Temple keeps this energy and beats Tulane as they move their way up through the ranks of the American Conference.
Yep, their next game, North Texas, January 22nd, this Wednesday in Texas, so that's going to be a very fun one to watch.
Just absolutely a great game from Temple. Jamal Mashburn with a ridiculous game today. 32 points, one shy of his career high. That is 33. Just absolutely great performance. Dezzoni, great job doing his rebounding. Quante Barry with his defense. The whole team worked together to get this win. Elijah Gray went down. Just an amazing effort from Temple. Can't be more happy with this outcome.
Yeah, a great statement, like you said, Troy, before the last play unfolded. And, I mean, Temple showed last game that they could play defense. This game, they showed that they could play offense.
Absolutely. Just a well-put-together game. Adam Fisher, fantastic job. Everybody on this Temple team worked very, very hard to pull out this win.
Absolutely, and that does it from us in the Liacouras Center.
Absolutely.
Jake Holzhauer alongside Troy Arslan. We will see you in quite some time, actually. We don't have a game for Temple at home until Charlotte, January 29th, going on a bit of a road trip, North Texas and UTSA. So we will see you in Charlotte in just a few weeks.
Let's go out.